Hi, I'm Yeniva, and you're watching Silo Talk.
Llama Gil, no te voy a mentir. Pide lo que sea, te lo voy a conseguir. Llama Gil, no te voy a mentir. Que tú quieras hacerte todo y yo en tu cuerpo. Dale, ponte 4 calles que yo rompo. Dime lo que quieres que yo te lo compro. Ese novio tuyo tiene cara de tonto. Y si tú quieres yo la monto y se la desmonto. Oh, che, el dinero no falte, bebé. Tú no ves que yo la tengo en play como es. Si tú quieres cuarto yo no me muevo. Pégate pa' la pared que quiero darte como es. Tú eres loca, tú eres una crisis. Pariste las patas como un chapite Pepsi. Oh my God, bienvenida al mundo fácil. Gracias Dios mío porque coronó una lazi. 4K.
Yo le quiero dar en 4K. Yo le quiero dar en 4K. 4K.
En diamantes son 200K, no tuve que insistirles una bella casa. El novio se me pega, aparte tengo una calle abajo con la amiga y las puse en 8K como no me llegan por mentira.
What is up, people? Annabelle the Animal is here, and you are watching Silo Talk Podcast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a free spirit artist. She is a professional dancer, a professional DJ. Please help me welcome Yeniva. Hell yeah.
I love
Just so you guys know, she's going to be performing with Electric Jungle in Pomona on Friday, April 19th. Make sure to follow her on Instagram. Click that link, and welcome to the show, Yeniva.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, but definitely pull up, y'all.
Pull up.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
period.
I didn't even know you were a DJ, to be honest, because when I found you on Instagram, I saw all of your dancing. That's what caught my attention.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I'm curious to hear your journey into the dancing world, into the DJ world, and, you know, what makes you who you are. Yeah. So what I tell people is that I'm a collector. I'm a collector of interesting stories and interesting individuals. And when I see someone that I feel has something that they want to share to the world, I want to know why. Why do they choose that particular set of art to express themselves? So why don't you tell us a little bit about why you chose to be a dancer?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So honestly, I started dancing pretty late. I was a late bloomer. So I didn't I didn't start professionally training until I was 21, which is late.
In the dancing world, like what is traditionally how a dancer trajectory?
They start training when they're like 5 years old, 6 years old. They're in there, you know.
Yeah,
they're
it's like the Olympics and shit.
Competing, yeah.
Crazy.
A lot of dancers that are like on jobs with me have been dancing since they were really young. So it's pretty crazy, yeah. But honestly, so I first started dancing in high school. It was my junior year, and I almost didn't even make the team. It was honestly pretty crazy. They set me aside. I went to try out, and they set me aside to like the group of girls that was not doing good.
Really?
So I was like, bitch, ponte las pilas right now, because there's no way you're not gonna make it. Like, come on, you have to. Like, it was calling my name, but I was shy before that, you know. So I needed a little. But I went, me puse las pilas. I barely made the team, and then that was like my intro to dance, and it wasn't anything crazy.
You were in what grade?
So I was a junior. So I was
year?
in 11th grade. So it was late.
Shit.
Yes. Okay. So that's when I first got introduced to dance.
Yeah.
And it was for a high school dance team that wasn't really, like, we didn't really train too often. We would just learn the choreos for like the football games and basketball games, and it wasn't anything crazy. So it wasn't too much training of anything. And then I completely stopped after I graduated when I was 17. And then it wasn't until I moved back from college. So I went to college, right? Because I was going to go be a nurse, because my mom...
That was your professional career that you wanted to pursue?
It wasn't really what I wanted to pursue.
Okay.
All I knew when I was that age was that I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, well, go be a nurse. Like...
Yeah.
Go help these people. I'm like, you're right. Let me go be a nurse, you know? Let me make my mom happy.
Yeah.
So I went to school for that. And then it wasn't until I was actually about to apply for nursing school that I was just like, whoa, like I just was talking to all these nurses that have been doing nursing, and they were so passionate about it. And it's like I had done all these bio, all this chem, and first I wasn't passionate about that. And yeah, it was really hard to get into the program too. So I was like, I don't know, like if I don't really want to do it, why am I going all in on this, you know? So I kind of took a step back, and I went through this like really bad breakup. And I also was like a part of the sorority that wasn't the nicest to me. Yeah. So it was like a lot of things were happening at the time. So I just kind of took a step back. I ended up moving back home.
Did you go to college, and where's home?
Oh my gosh, I forget that you guys don't know me. Okay, so I'm from Washington State.
So you're not from Cali, you're from Washington State.
Exactly.
Where'd you go to college?
So I went to Washington State University. That's where I was about to apply to go to nursing school. Okay. So I was out there for a couple of years, did the whole dorm thing, lived my best life in college, you know, except for I had a boyfriend. So that kind of, I wasn't free. But
what it sounds to me like is that you were you had a fork in the road. Right. Whereas if I go down this route, which is I go into nursing school, I make my mother happy. I get a quote unquote good job as a nurse, you know, make decent money, and I can help people. It sounds like it's a great path for the person that is what they want. Right. But it sounds like internally it's not what you wanted. You know, it was not going to make you fulfilled, happy, purposeful. Right? And what I tell people is you are the hero of your life story. And the first part of the hero's journey is called the calling. You have a calling, like Neo in the Matrix. You know, he got called, and now he's looking for this character that's going to get him out of the Matrix. You know, Frodo, he had a calling. He has to take this ring on this journey to destroy it. In your case, you know, you had a calling, like I want to be a free spirit artist, right?
Yeah.
So where did that come from? You know, what was it that made you say, like, no, I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go back home and do this and pursue something else. What was the catalyst?
Okay. So once I figured out that I wasn't nursing that I wanted to do, I was like, okay, let me just go back to my safe place, you know, back home. Yeah. And let me just, you know, start fresh, get a job. So I started working at a bank. I was a bank teller. I was doing that 9 to 5. Okay. Yeah. And I did it for a year. You know, and they were kind of talking about promoting. They made me like a vault teller, so whatever.
Damn, vault teller.
I was like, okay, trust.
Like, I run stuff around here just in case you guys didn't know.
Right. No, but yeah, and then I had been talking to a lot of people that I worked with at the bank, and they had been there for years, like 40 years, you know? And then I was like, yeah, I was starting to hit a place where I was like, this is too repetitive. This is not what I'm passionate about. What do you really want to do? Like, what do you want to do with your life? You're young. Like, so I asked myself that question on a really slow Tuesday. I was at the bank. Yeah. It was dead. And I was like, what do you want to do? Like, what makes you happy? And in that moment, I just remembered the way dancing made me feel. And I wasn't the greatest at it, but I just loved the way it made me feel. And I was like, you know what? Like, if I really want to do this, I can do this. I can get good at this. Yeah. So I go to my computer, I turn around, and I Google, I'm like, how to become a professional dancer.
Hell yeah.
And it told me that I needed to get out there, network, get into the industry. Yeah. And it said that a way to do that is like to get on a team. So then I started doing my research. I got on YouTube and I started looking at all these dance teams. And that's when I found the Miami Heat dance team. And Miami Heat? Ooh, yep. I'm going to be a Heat dancer.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to be a Heat dancer.
Hook it up with some
this August, I'm going to go try tickets. Out. I got you, bro. I promise. I promise.
I know her.
For real. No, yeah. When I make the team, I got you, bro.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so because I had that like initiative, like, okay, I want to go be a Miami Heat dancer. Yeah. I was like, I need to get out there. So I just started.
How old were you at this point?
So I was 19.
Yeah.
I was 19 when I moved back home. So wait, maybe I was like 20. I was like 20 when I had this like whole little realization that I wanted to be a professional dancer.
This is what I want to do. I want to be a professional dancer.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is that most people have like a little glimpse of what would make them happy. But what happens immediately is fear hits them. Yeah. They're like, what if I look stupid? What if I don't get, what if my mom tells me I'm dumb? What if I become broke? What if I get homeless? What if this? What if that?
Yeah.
But the hero, regardless of the fear, steps into the unknown. They leave the comfort of their home. They leave the safety of that warm little environment, and they step into something that's, it's a journey. It's a journey. Yeah. So you stepped into a journey.
Yeah. Honestly, I love being uncomfortable. You have to get you have to get used to being uncomfortable to grow and everything, you know? So
you're a little risk taker, aren't you?
I really am. And it's like, as soon as I hit this like comfortable, I'm like, okay, well, how can I get uncomfortable? Like, where can I put myself? What rooms can I go to, you know, to like evolve as a human, you know? But
yeah, I say you have to be curious. You have to find the answers yourself. We live in such a freaking awesome time right now where like there's YouTube, there's
access
Instagram, there's Facebook, there's all of these social media platforms and educational platforms. Whatever it is that you want to do in your life, you can do it. You know, it's going to take some work, but do the research. Let's say you want to be a professional dancer. She just typed it in Google.
I did.
I did the same thing.
And it actually gave me some really great advice.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had to put in the work, you know?
Yeah. At one point, you have to bet on yourself. You have to invest in yourself. You have to believe in your own abilities, and then you have to apply them, you know? So when was the first time where you actually were fully in it? Like now you said, okay, you did the research. What happened? Did you join a team? Did you get a coach? What was the next step for you?
Okay. So once I realized that I needed to get out to Miami, I was like, okay, well, how are you going to get out there? You know? And so I quit my 9-to-5 job and I started working as a barista at Starbucks from like 3 a.m. until like 12 or 1 p.m. And then I would go to my serving job. And so I did that for like almost a year. I just racked up all my money. I just saved up, you know, because I was getting ready. Getting ready to bet on myself. I was like, you need to save all this money and move. You need to go to a city where you can train and you can actually get your foot in the door. And then, I saved up enough money. And then in 2021, oh my gosh, this is way before. What year was it? It was 2016. I moved to Florida. And that's where my journey started.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was in Florida? What took you there?
So the Miami Heat. And I wanted to train. I wanted to train with them, under them, you know, at their studios that they trained at. So I just knew that I needed to get out there.
Did you have to audition for that, or did they just automatically accept you? Did you have to send in a video? So what's the process? Yeah,
so I actually didn't get on the Miami Heat. That's why I'm planning on going this year in August. Now I feel like I'm ready. But no, I did audition. I didn't make it, but I think the biggest thing I wanted to do was start training. And so I started training at Showstopper Studio. That was like the very first time I ever trained. Oh yeah. And for that, you don't have to audition, but it's just like a studio where you go take classes. But the first time I ever went to that studio, that's so funny. I was just telling my friend this story because it's like, it's a great story now, but in the moment it was like probably one of the saddest moments of my life because.
What do you mean? What happened?
Okay. So
now I'm curious.
So I found this studio, right, on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go train there. So I had planned the first day I was going to go, and I had seen this, like, that it was like this, like, master class type of vibe, audition vibe. I was like, cool. Didn't really know what any of that meant, you know? And so I show up, and it turns out that it was the audition for the company of the actual studio. So it was like all these professional dancers that are like really, really good. Yeah. And I haven't been training, right? Like this is like my first.
Did you feel intimidated?
I went in there and made a fool of myself. A fool, guys. Like when I tell you that all these dancers were amazing and they were like next level, I did not even know I was walking into an audition. So I made a fool out of myself. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the counts. I had no muscle memory. It was such a defeating moment. And I left just feeling very like, wow, you just moved across the country for this. And it's so bad. And I remember just sitting in my car and crying for like an hour because I just worked so hard for a whole year to like get out here. And then it was like the biggest like punch like, in the fucking face. Oh my gosh. I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. Like in that moment I felt like, damn, should I go back? But something in me was like, no, like it can't get any worse than that. Like just come back. And now that you know, it can't get any worse than that. I'm like, now that you know, like just go back and train. And that's exactly what I started doing. And I started training and
Man, I see so many connections between dancing and fighting. Like I feel like it's the masculine and the feminine energy. but it's the same thing. It's the rhythm of life, and it's your expression. And when you're fighting, you are letting go, and you're expressing violence. You're expressing whatever you're trying to do, and it's a dance. It's a rhythm. You have to find your rhythm. Rhythm is your friend in fighting. And for music, I feel that it's the same thing. I'm sorry, for dancing, it's the same thing. It's like it's a rhythm. You're an athlete. You know, and there's a science and then there's an art form for it too. So same thing. Everybody has a plan until they get kicked in the fucking teeth. You know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Right. Everybody has a plan until something bad happens. And what I tell people is that you need an opponent. You need adversity to get stronger. If you want to get more muscle, you need resistance.
Yeah.
I call it Mr. Resistance.
Yeah.
I love that motherfucker because he makes me strong.
Yeah.
He makes me wiser. He makes me, you know, everything that I've ever wanted in this life, I had to get through resistance. And when you learn how to find your rhythm, then it becomes fun. It becomes so much fun because you surrender to the process of doing the work, you know, because you just got beat the fuck up. That lit something up in you where you could do two things. You can quit. Yeah. Where a lot of people do, and that means that wasn't for them. That wasn't for you. You weren't supposed to be a dancer because you quit after that. Right. If you would have quit, it wouldn't have been for you. Exactly. Same thing for fighters. I want to be
But at least I would have gone for it. I would have known like, hey, you know what? I went and I tried it and it wasn't for me, you know?
But guess what? If you persevere and you learn the lesson, then you come back stronger. Yeah. So what happened after that?
So after that, I kept training and I got all this experience. And I had tried out for the Miami Heat. I didn't make it, unfortunately, but it's okay. I did get other opportunities. It was actually a full circle moment. So right before I left Miami, because I was in Miami for a year, I auditioned for the company, right? So it was like full circle moment. Okay, now you know this is an audition. Yeah. And I made it. So it was really cool.
Was the same people that were there that saw you like screw all up?
Oh my gosh,
some of them still there?
Yeah, half of them.
Hell yeah.
And they definitely remembered me because I'm telling you, like, yeah, it was bad. It's okay though. You know, now thinking back, you know, I did say to myself, I was like, this is going to be great for my movie one day. Like the plot is going to be crazy, you know?
That's like the pivotal moment where like they catch you with your pants down, you know?
Yeah. But no, you know, unfortunately around that time, cause I had been dating somebody for like 6 years, you know, my love, and we were going through like our own stuff. And then, so we had broken up, and then I was 3,000 miles across the country away from my family. So I was just really like lacking love. I think I had some of like the best moments of my life out there, but I had some of the saddest moments of my life out there, and a lot of reflecting, a lot of going to the ocean and just like praying and sitting there and contemplating a lot of things, you know, that, yeah, just sad. But
you want to get into it?
Oh, it's like, I don't, because yeah, no, it was just very, very sad. And it's like, I don't want to say this because I don't want, it's like, I don't want to be looked at as weak, but I really like, it just felt so low in my life that I didn't even want to live anymore. And I hate saying that because life is so precious, and like thinking like the fact that I even thought that, like, I'm so sad for me, you know, and I'm like, dang, like, but I'm so happy that I didn't even like feed into that thought. And instead I decided to just go back home, and I didn't care what anybody was going to say. All I wanted was to be surrounded by love. And so then, yeah, I ended up just moving back home, and it's just crazy because when I was getting ready to move to Miami, like, okay, I'm from this small town in Washington, like people don't leave, you know? So it's like, people told me, they were like, well, we'll be here when you come back. You know, I lost friends because of how negative they were. And I was like, it took that, like me telling them what I really wanted to do with my life, my dreams, and them not being like positive about it, to like finally like let people go and be like, you know what, like I don't want that to be in my life. So of course, me moving back from Miami, I had those thoughts like, man, like these people were right, you know, like, look, man, like I didn't make it, you know, but I didn't care.
You're feeling defeated.
I was feeling so defeated, but I knew that what I needed was love. Like God just kept telling me love, 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 you know, and I'm so happy. That was actually like around the time that I got really close to God. So thank you for everything that happened out there, because it brought me like way closer to God. So yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the worst things that happen to you, there's a silver lining. It's going to there's going to be something good that comes out of it.
Yeah.
If you step back and do that, what you did, you spend some time alone to think. You need that. You know, you need that. Unfortunately, you need to step aside and really look at your life and see what has happened. And you have to take 100% self-accountability. For me, it took me 30 somewhat years to figure it out. You know, because what happens to most people is that they go on to their life and it's a cycle. You start to see that your life has patterns. You have a certain pattern in your relationships. You have a pattern in the way that you dance. There's a pattern in the way that you learn. There's a pattern. Everything has a pattern, right? And if you don't really realize what you're doing, you just keep on repeating the same shit over and over again, just with different scenarios. Yeah. At a different audition, you did the same shit. Yeah. At a different guy, same relationship.
Lessons.
You know? So what happens is that sometimes life will beat the fuck out of you to get you to understand, like, when are you going to learn?
Yeah.
You know, like in my darkest moments, I remember asking why I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And when I got the answers was on a long walk that I took like a freaking 4-hour walk in the middle of the night, just contemplating my life, like, what happened? What has led up to this point where I'm in the lowest of lows, right?
Yeah.
And I realized that it was me. I created this. I caused this. I am 100% accountable for this. And when I did that, it was kind of a relief because I no longer, I had so much anger, so much hatred, so much resentment at everybody else that I felt had wronged me or had caused me to do the certain things, or that had, you know, whatever, talked bad about me, disrespected me, whatever it was. And I realized that I was giving them the power.
Right.
And I was not taking self-accountability for my life, you know? And when I did that, my life transformed. And it's interesting that you said that you kept on getting the feeling of, I need love. On a microscopic level, everything is a vibration. Everything is a frequency. Everything is moving at a high speed. So if I tell someone, like, hey, how do you feel? I feel sad. That's a vibration, you know, and your emotional reaction to that is crying, being depressed.
Right.
When I say, how do you feel? I feel in love. It's a higher frequency. So I am a proponent of plant medicine like maca bars here, psilocybin mushrooms, and also ayahuasca, cabo. There's these medicines that will elevate your frequency to get you closer to the God source. The closer you get to a higher frequency, the more love and acceptance and understanding and all of this healing comes with that vibrational frequency, which is why dancing is so important, because it's an expressive art form of your vibrational frequency. I can get two dancers that are identical twins that are going to do the exact same choreographed dance. And one of them is going to be amazing. And the other one, I'll be like, you're good too, but there's something missing. And it's that vibrational frequency that's within them. You know, let's say one of them has an amazing day, the other one, their mom died. They're going to perform it a little differently. They might use it or they might not, you know? So I understand what you mean by wanting to find that good vibe of love. Yeah. How did you find it?
So I knew that I needed to just go back home and ground myself and just heal and just really figure out what my next step was going to be. So yeah, I ended up moving back home, and I'm so happy that I did, because for the 6 months that I lived back in Washington, I ended up teaching, because now I had that. Now I had training. I had I had like real professional training. And so I could bring that back and like give that back to, you know, the people that wanted to dance out there. Because leading up to me moving to Miami, I really had gotten no training, because once you turn 18 out there, there's no studios for you. The only studios out there is like the ones that compete. Yeah. And those are like until you're 18, like they don't teach anymore. You can't like go to the classes. They don't have like, you know, any dance studios. So I wanted to bring that out there, you know? And so I started teaching. I actually started making a name for myself out there. Nice. It was really cool. Yeah. I feel like people were like, oh wait, so this girl, like she left and then she came back and now she brought it. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, they were looking at it as this cool thing. And yeah, I started building this community out there. And I actually, that's awesome. Like looking back now, a lot of us, I connected a lot of dancers together, and friendships that to this day, you know, I'm like close to those girls. It's like really beautiful. Or like some of them are like still best friends to this day. And like,
it's a community.
Yeah. To know that they met in my class is like, wow, like that's so meaningful to me. So yeah, it was really awesome.
To me, community is everything.
Yeah.
You know, it connects you to other people that are living a different life in one common thing. You know, like I connect with the people in my Muay Thai class. I connect with the people in my weightlifting class, you know, my workout buddies. Every little place that I go to, there's a community, the actors, you know, the screenwriters, and they all have like their way of being, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really hung out with dancers. What are you guys like? I assume you guys are like super high energy and stuff.
Yeah, we're super high energy, you know. Don't take us on the dance floor because we're going to show up. You know?
Right.
Yeah, we'll be playing it cool, and then I don't know, we're like,
they're just going to pop out.
Fucking it up.
There's a circle now. Everybody's clapping for you.
No, but like going back to living in Tri-City. So, okay, so once I like got established out there, my best friend, she was like, she had been saying, because she's a couple years younger than me, she had been saying like, hey, when I turn 21, like I want to move to LA. I'm going to move out there.
Oh, yeah.
So
had you been to LA before at all?
I had a visit. I had came to visit, but never to like, I don't know though, because when I would come visit, I just had a feeling that I was going to live here one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always had that intuition too. And, you know, I used to have this vision.
You're an artist.
You know, it's crazy because growing up, I was really shy, and I used to have this vision of me when I'm me being like 5 or 6 years old, and it's like 4 dancers, and we're on stage at this like elementary school at this like talent show. I don't know why. I just see this vision, and it's us 4, and we're dressed in these like white. I have these like white cargo pants and like this white jacket, and like they have all white, and we're just dancing. And that's crazy because I don't know why I had this vision, because it was never like my mom was like, hey, like you want to be a performer, you want to be you know, that was not, or me watching like TV, I never thought like, hey, that can be me. Like that was not something that was ever brought to my attention. Yeah. So, you know, it's like my parents migrated here from Mexico, and they were like, listen, like you got to be a doctor, you got to be a nurse, you got to be this, you need to graduate, you know?
Yeah.
And it was never like, hey, what do you want to do? You want to go be an artist? You want? No,
this is interesting that you say this, because I work with Chicano Hollywood, right? Which is dancers, artists, actors, producers, cinematographers, creatives.
Right.
Artists within Hollywood that are all Mexican American, Chicano. And what I've noticed is when you come from wealth and you come from money and influence, it's like normal for the kids to be in the arts, right? They put them in dance, they put them in acting, they put them in ballet,
gymnastics. Yeah.
When you come from poverty, that's the last thing you're gonna fucking think about. Like, we're putting you to go work with your fucking dad, and I'll carry the.
And you know what's crazy is they did. Yes, ahí nos tenían in the fields. You know, we were picking cherries because they wanted us to see what they like. They were like, listen, this is where you're gonna be if you don't graduate from school.
Yeah, this is what I tell people, like, because the hero, when he steps out into the unknown, his family is going to be scared for him. Oh, what if you fail? Well, you know, what if you're going to end up in poverty? You're going to end up struggling. They actually care about you, right? But the paradigm is kind of in that low frequency where they don't see another way out. They don't see you becoming a dancer that can be successful and have your own business and your own whatever, you know? So it's tough. It's really hard for artists, you know, because when you speak gibberish. You're saying, hey, I want to go do this, I want to go there. Like, what the fuck what language are you talking about? You know?
They only see one way, you know?
They see you for who you are today. They don't see you for who you can become.
Right.
So I find raw diamonds. A raw diamond is someone that has everything in them already to be great at whatever they're doing. You find that spark already, and then you just refine it. You know, you hear someone sing raw.
Yeah.
It's not as beautiful as when you take them into a recording studio and you master the music, and then now you create an album and you have all these different people that are part of that thing. That singer was the same fucking singer before all of that, right? So your family sometimes will not see that, and it's very disheartening, and it's very frustrating, but the hero must continue on his journey regardless. Yeah,
no, it's true. Yeah, a lot of the time people will, you know, they'll put their own fears on you, but you just have to know that that's what it is, that it's them, you know, talking to you out of how they feel about the situation, you know.
Yeah. Was your family supportive?
So luckily my mom was supportive. My mom's always believed in me because it's like whenever I say I'm going to do something, I do it, you know? So she was like, okay, like you clearly thought about this. Like, I know you little overthinker, you know? So there wasn't anything I hadn't thought about, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like,
you had a good plan.
Yeah. And when people would, you know, when I would tell them and they would be like, well, what about this? What about? I'm like, you don't think I thought about that?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. There's a difference between being a gambler and being a strategic risk taker.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to jump from a building for no reason.
Right.
There's got to be a reward for it. And there's got to be a chance that you're actually going to succeed, a high probability. Yeah. The problem with people is that they don't have a plan. You know, they say, I want to be an actor and be in Hollywood.
Right.
You can do that.
Yeah.
But what's your plan?
Right.
Well, it's just going to happen.
How are you going to get there?
Yeah. Well, first you have to get acting classes because you don't know how to fucking act. Okay. Secondly, you got to audition. Secondly, you got to do maybe some plays. Maybe you got to do some commercials.
Go build your resume.
You know?
Yes.
You have to network with people. Yep. You have to have an image and a brand.
Yeah.
You have to have this. You have to have that. You have to have a plan.
Right.
And if you don't have a plan and you're not taking actions daily towards it, what the fuck are you doing? You're a delusional, and you're a gambler.
Yeah.
I don't gamble my fucking life away.
Yeah.
We all have a limited amount of days left, right? Yeah. So stop gambling your life away. Make a plan and go after it, you know? And
I will say though, I am delulu as fuck, okay?
It's okay to be a little delusional.
Cursing. I am delusional, okay? Because thinking back now, like moving to Miami, who does that? Like who does that? And what's crazy is I know, right? And it's like thinking back now, I really was about to just go out there blind, like just, you know, do everything online and then just show up and here's my home, you know?
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough that my mom had like a distant cousin that she hadn't talked to. And so she reached out to her brother on Facebook and they found her and then they gave her the number. And my mom was like, hey, I found Consuelo's number. Do you want me to call her? Do you want to talk to her? I was like, I'll talk to her. And I tell her, I'm like, hey, I'm going to move out there to be a professional dancer. Could I maybe stay with you while I get a job? And she was like, sure. You know, so I showed up and I was like, okay, where is she? How does she look? You know?
Yeah.
But luckily she was like super, super kind. And I'm so happy that she let me, you know, live there. And
shout out to Consuelo.
Right. Shout out to her.
So the next step in the hero's journey is actually that. It's finding the mentor, the wizard, the oracle, the person that's going to guide you on your journey.
Right.
What they have for you is an elixir.
Yeah.
Do you know what an elixir is?
No.
An elixir is a potion. It's usually in a little vial and it's green or purple.
Okay.
It glows in the dark.
Cute.
And a wizard, you know, has this long beard and he'll tell you, hey, Yeniva, drink this elixir and it'll make you the best dancer in the world.
Yeah.
So you drink this elixir, it'll make you fearless. It'll make you invisible.
Yeah.
It'll make you 10 feet taller.
Yeah.
It's power. It's a potion. It's magic, like Maca Magic right here, right?
Right.
So the way that you find an elixir is at the brink of death. You know, a wizard has already collected all these potions, these elixirs. But what they do for you is that they guide you on what you need to do to find your strength. How to become the best dancer, because that's what you want it to be. You want to be the best dancer in the world.
Right.
So who are some of the mentors, you know, quote unquote, wizards and oracles of your life that have kind of helped you along this journey?
Yeah.
And what have they taught you?
Honestly, yeah. So once I got out here to LA, honestly, just going to classes, I feel like I didn't realize how important mentorship was until maybe a couple years ago. So I'm like training under Nicole. She's like,
who's Nicole?
Nicole Kirkland. She's a pretty famous, known choreographer.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to Nicole Kirkland.
Shout out Nicole Kirkland. Yeah, that was the one that just followed me right now. Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I was freaking out.
It's serendipity.
You know, it's like I've been following her and watching her on YouTube since before I started like chasing my dreams back in 2016. So
she's a dream chaser too. She is a hero of her life. So these people that you look up to, whatever their chosen art form is, they are no different than you and I, but they just been through this journey so many times that they have all the power. They have all the knowledge. They have the wisdom. And guess what? They can help you. They have keys. They'll tell you, don't go down that road. There's a dead end. Don't go down that road. There's this big ass dragon over there. Don't go down that road. This is the safe travel. It's going to be a little hard because you have to go over this mountain, but it's gonna
crazy.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It's crazy because I actually didn't realize how important mentorship was until recently. So up until recently, I used to feel like I needed to do this by myself. Like I couldn't, like it was just gonna be me. And what I realized is no, there's no I in team. Like you have to find your community, build your community, and yeah, exactly. Seek mentorship, you know, people that have done it, people that, you know, they know where to go and how to get there. And it's like, even if you have to invest, you know, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your education. So recently I've been trying to get into mentorship programs and save up to get into those because yeah, I'm so happy I got the opportunity though. So right now I'm a brand ambassador for Kitty Compound, which is, that's Nicole Kirkland's like brand.
What is it called?
It's called Kitty Compound.
Okay.
So she does she teaches dance and everything on there. And
is it a studio, a dance studio?
Well, she has her own studio.
An online course.
Yeah. So she has her own like studio. It's not like open to the public or anything, but like we'll go in there in session and stuff. But she does have like an app and it's really cool because you can learn. It's like you can do everything from your house.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, dope. 2 years ago, I didn't even know how to use a camera, you know? And today I'm a professional videographer, photographer, cinematographer.
Period.
And I'm making my first featured film, right?
Yeah.
The way I learned was through a program called 14-Day Filmmaker, which cost me $49.99. And with that program, it also came with the Adobe Suites products, which is everything I use for audio, video, and photography, you know? Audition for audio engineering, Premiere Pro for video editing, Lightroom and Photoshop for photo. And with these tools, the information they gave me and the tools that I had, I've been able to create the life that I've always wanted. You know, I am doing what makes me happy and fulfilled. All you need is two things: information and tools.
Yeah.
And over time, you get more tools.
Yeah.
You get a better camera. You get a better laptop. You get a different software. You upgrade it, right? You get more information. You pay for a better program that gets more in detail on cinematography, on lighting, on this, on that. You're like a cyborg. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
We literally are in the matrix where you can hook things into our brain. Be like, I want to learn a little bit about bachata. I don't know how to dance that style.
Right.
I want to learn fucking salsa.
Anything.
I want to learn that. It's a vibe, right?
Yeah, we're like computers. We're like computers, and whatever you want to learn and get good at, like you just need to look into that, you know? But no, yeah. And then also going back to mentorship, I joined a mentorship program last year when I got into music. So I didn't say how I got into music yet. So I'll say that real quick. So once I moved to LA, I was out here training, and it wasn't until I went to EDC in 2018, and going to EDC changed my life. It's a really big festival that happens in Vegas. That was my first ever festival,
I've had
guys.
a couple people tell me that.
You've never been?
I've never been.
Oh my gosh, you have to go. Go this year.
I'm an old man.
Bro, no.
My knees hurt after like 2 hours.
It's fine. You can go for a night and then you don't have to go back. You don't have to go all 3 days.
I throw my bones at people's face for fun, you know?
No, for reals, catch me there. I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
No, but yeah, I went. It's like you walk in and it's unreal. Like you're in a whole nother world. And then just hearing the music took me away. It took my breath away. It made me feel so good. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was watching the DJs and I'm like, holy shit. Like I just saw myself up there. I'm like, I'm going to do that. Like I'm going to play music for people. I'm going to dance for people. Like everything. Like I'm just going to give them everything. And I'm going to tell them that they can do this and they can follow their, I don't know. I had this like huge realization and I was like, okay.
An epiphany.
Yeah. Just, you know, I had a moment. And then, so in 2019, so a year later, I started, like I bought all my equipment, you know, after reaching out to friends and being like, hey, how do I become a DJ? Like you DJ, what do I need? You know?
Yeah.
And then, so after buying all my equipment, I kind of started learning, you know, and then right when I was like about to like really go all into DJing, I got like some really big opportunities dancing.
Yeah.
And it just became it was too much. It was like overwhelming me. And I feel like I had to choose kind of what I really wanted to do. And I was like, okay, you know what? I've been working really hard on my dance stuff. Like, let me just go in on this right now, focus on that. And so I did that. So then I kind of just set DJing and music aside. But there wasn't a day that I didn't think about DJing and music.
Yeah. It was in the back of your mind the whole time.
Every day it was there. And it wasn't until 2021 I went on a cruise ship. It's called Groove Cruise, okay? I went on this cruise ship and my life was never the same, okay? I have never felt so inspired. And in that moment I knew, I was like, you know what? There's a reason that you thought about this every day since you first started. And so when I came back from that cruise ship that changed my life, which was October 2021.
What happened on that cruise ship? Is it okay if I move this a little bit?
Oh my gosh, actually, yeah.
There we go.
So on that cruise ship, I got to meet one of my idol DJs, Green Velvet.
Okay.
Like he was literally just
Did he
having
have like a one-on-one conversation with you or give you some
so
kind
he
of
was
like,
having tea. He was just
golden nuggets. He's like, here, let me sprinkle some fucking magic on you.
Yeah. So on this cruise ship, it's so personal. Like, yes, you're on a cruise ship and there's a lot going on, but you get to like run into the artists because they're eating in the same place you are, you know?
Access.
Yes. And so he was having tea and I did not want to go up to him and bother him. But my friend, who I love very much, love her so much, she was like, dude, let's just go say hi. Like, come on. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I don't want to bug him. And she's like, dude, let's go. So we go. He was so welcoming, so nice. And I told him, I was like, I'm going to DJ with you one day. He's like, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, you are. And I was like, it's so easy. I was like, okay, I'm going all in. And so, but yeah, so then I went back home and then that was October 2021? Yeah. I just started going ham. In November, on 11/11/21, I dropped a mix and I just didn't stop. Like I filmed like a concept video of like a mix that I did. Yeah. And then that brought me onto this opportunity with Neon Owl. They're also like a nonprofit organization that bring like artists and DJs and producers. Neon Owl.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to Neon Owl.
Yeah, they're amazing. But I ended up joining their mentorship program. And so they connected me with so many amazing artists and producers. And we would have weekly Zoom calls. And, you know, they would talk to us about how important it was to build relationships and networking. Yeah. And so
it's everything.
Yeah, it really is everything.
If you have a vision in your mind of whatever it is that you want to do, you need people in order to accomplish it on a big scale. Yeah. You know, anybody could, you know, dance with themselves on a cell phone, you know, in their house, whatever. But if you're trying to expand your reach to the world, then you need a group of people that are going to help you create this vision into reality. So your network is the most valuable thing that you have. The way that I'm able to move so fast in different industries and do all this shit is not me. It's people that I know that have been there for years. It's my attorney that has 30 years in the film industry. It's my cinematographer that's been doing that shit for fucking ever. Yeah. It's these people that see your vision. They see your, the guy, what he did was he made you understand that you're on the right track. Yeah. He gave you that little reassurance. That's what you need.
Like Green Velvet just said that to me. Holy shit. Like I can do it, you know? Go. And I can't wait for the day that me and him like get to see each other again. Like, I don't know if he'll remember that moment, but I will never forget that moment. So
tell him.
I will.
Hell yeah.
For sure. I know I'm going to, all these artists, I just know every time I see them, because I just got back from a cruise ship. Yeah. Actually, that was like a dream come true. I just lived
I'm going to start taking cruise trips, man.
No, you need to go on Groove Cruise. That is like, no, but because like, okay, so one of my dreams when I was living in Miami was to be a Zantra dancer. That's like the go-go world out there, right? So these girls dance at like the biggest clubs out there, you know? Just seeing them, I would see them at Live and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I want to get paid to be here and look beautiful, holy. And they're dancing, they're just doing their own thing. Hell yeah. You know, I was like, how do I get up there?
It's art.
Yeah.
You're literally a piece of art in movement. Yeah.
And so
don't touch it.
Yeah, no. And so after I had been training for a while in Miami, I was going to audition and then I found out I was too short and I was like, oh, I was crushed. I was like, no, I'll never be a Zantra girl. But
there's a height limit?
Yes. And so
what is it?
It was like 5'7". I'm 5'4".
That's some bullshit.
I'm 5'3" and a half.
Tell them there's heels, man.
Right. I'm like, and I love dancing in heels, but but that changes later because, so that was a dream that I had, but you know, at the moment it got cut short. But I kept going, and then so this year or last year I joined there was a dance contest for Groove Cruise, and I was like, ooh, like I want to DJ and I want to dance on that cruise.
Hell yeah.
And so I joined the contest. I ended up winning the contest, and it just so happens that Zontra, the girls that I wanted to dance for, they are the dancers for the cruise ship.
No way.
So then they were like, hey, you're going to be dancing for Zontra on a cruise ship for your favorite artist. They didn't
care about the inches?
No,
They're
because
like,
it's like at this point they had seen my dancing, everything. They were like, oh, this girl's going to kill it on
You're like
stage.
Allen Iverson, huh?
You're right. No, but it was crazy because when that happened, when I won the contest and they told me what I had won and that I was going to be not only dancing for Zontra, right, who I wanted to dance for, but I was going to be dancing to my favorite artists. I was going to be dancing to Tiesto and to Diplo and to John Summit.
So they're actually performing and you're dancing at the same time?
Yeah. So cool. I was going to be dancing for these DJs that I am obsessed with. Like, I love them. Like John Summit, like, when I found that out, I was like, wow, like God, you really did that. Like God said, I know this is what you want, but just give me a few years. And 5 years down the road, not only did he give me what I wanted, but he also put me on a cruise ship. He took me to the Bahamas. He had me dancing for my favorite artist, John Summit. Like, I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe it. And just living through it, and it was like, I will never forget those moments.
That's what it is you turned your dream into a reality, right? People have dreams. I have a dream of meeting Mike Tyson one day and interviewing him, right?
Yeah.
I have a dream of making my film. I have a dream of being the greatest film producer in the history of Hollywood. I have dreams. I have the dreams of providing for my family and my friends and like having this mega kingdom, a media empire, right? And then we go where I'm at right now, right? Mm-hmm. In order to accomplish that, you have to become a different person.
Oh yeah.
So I wear a lot of symbolism on me. I have an Ouroboros is a dragon or a snake eating itself. What it symbolizes is that you have to consume yourself. You have to kill the old you to become a new you. Right? It's the circle of life. My logo to my company, Dreams to Reality, is a phoenix, which means from the ashes, you have to be reborn. So the concept is that the hero must die. You must change who you are, either spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. In order for me to become that and turn my dreams into reality, that journey is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. But once you get to that point where you look back and you're like, holy fuck, I thought I already had this conversation in my mind with this person 10 years ago, and now it happened in real life. I turned my dream into reality, and I'm telling you, I'm doing this at a really, really fast rate, where before I even talk to someone, I already know what's going to happen because I'm a strategist and I set this shit up, right? Yeah. So that is my life's mission, is to turn people's dreams into reality and let them know it's possible. You can do it. But it takes what you have done. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. And my mom just told me she was proud of me when was it, a couple months ago? And it's like, oh, it was everything because, I just want to make her proud. And yeah, it was crazy. Honestly, 2024 has been such a powerful year for me because I feel like I've lived so many dreams out this year.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it was just sticking to it.
You know what's even more exciting?
What?
There's more freaking dreams.
I know.
What's next?
Oh my gosh.
What is next for you?
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the future. What are your goals right now? What are you focusing on? And because my goal is not to just have a conversation with you and that's it. I like to build relationships and connection with people, and I like to be part of your connection. Like I told you, your network is very important. I don't know. Maybe there's someone going to come to me like, hey, I'm looking for a dancer. I'm like, I know the perfect person, right?
I know a dancer, yeah.
Or maybe the other way around.
Yeah.
Someone be like, hey, I'm looking for a photographer. I'm looking for a videographer. I'm looking for whatever.
I'm like, I got you.
Oh, I want to go on a podcast. Do anybody has a podcast?
Oh, yeah. Connecting people.
Connecting, right?
Yeah,
so I want to eventually have you back on the show a year, 5 years on. You're like, remember we were talking about that shit?
I'm going to be performing at EDC tomorrow, Len. I'm going to come back and give you guys all the tea.
I'll be on the fucking podcast at EDC or some shit, Like, it's the options are endless. Yeah. We live in a quantum world where the possibilities are endless. anything could happen, right?
Yeah.
And there is such a thing as serendipity where things just pop up out of nowhere. You're like, holy fuck. Like that girl that just added you, right? It was serendipitous.
I can't believe that just happened, guys. You guys don't even know.
The world is so small because you can connect with the person you want like that. There's this book called 7 Degrees of Separation, which means you're seven people away from anyone in the universe. I don't care. Name a person.
Facts.
Donald Trump.
That is so true. And I
might
realize
know
that
someone that knows someone that can get him on the phone to talk with me right now. Right. Yeah. And it's that, and today I believe that it's actually less than that. I think it's like 2 degrees of separation because we have this social platform, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all this shit, where literally you can connect to people a lot easier than it was before. Before it's like, I didn't know. How can I connect to that dancer lady? You know, if you were living up there, you would have to move down here. Yeah. And then even if you were here,
try to
like find her, like how do you get her phone number?
We're so lucky now. Yeah.
We live in such an awesome age. So tell us about what's in the future. What are you working now? And
Yeah. So right now, I feel like in my dance career is finally taking off. I've been dancing all around LA lately. And so my biggest goal, my biggest vision that I see right now is me being this DJ, producer, dancer who puts on these amazing shows for people where they just leave feeling so inspired because of not only the show that they just witnessed, but what they heard and the messages that I had for them. And, you know, over these past 5-6 years that I've been on this journey, I've done a lot of like healing and I've read a lot of self-help books. Because I mean, I was single for most of it. And honestly, a lot of the time that's like being alone is like, you have to be alone. You have to be alone to like really get to know yourself. I'm so happy that some of the relationships that I was in ended because they forced me to like really get to know myself. Because before this, I really thought I was out here, that I was going to be married and I was going to have kids by the time I was 23, because that's what I wanted with the person I was with. But when they told me that they didn't want that, I mean, it broke me because since I was 16 until I was like 21, I thought I was going to marry this person. And then this person tells me they don't want to marry me, you know, and my whole world shattered. But what it did to me was it made me find myself. It made me ask myself like, hey, like, you know, aside everybody else, like, what do you want? Like, what's going to make you happy? Not you both. Like, what do you want? You know? Yeah. And that was like another thing too, that, you know, had happened in Florida. It was like that relationship had ended and I was like, man, I need to just go all in on me.
I tell people you are not a man and you're not a woman until you have been through your first major heartbreak.
First heartbreak.
You have to experience defeat in order to become complete. Because we live in a life that has a duality. It has a positive and a negative. It has a life and it has death. It has the masculine, it has the feminine. You cannot experience joy without experiencing the opposite of it. Yeah. You can't experience anything, you know, and what makes things special and important is that they're only here for a moment. Yeah. Right. That's what makes it so precious. That's why when you think of your mom, when you think of what really, really matters, that's what makes you happy, you know? So in this part of the show, I tell people like I'm a genie, you know, and the story of the genie is that he doesn't give you 3 wishes. He gives you endless wishes. You could wish as much as you want. He will always grant you your wish. He will always tell you your wish is my command, right? Whatever it is. The problem is that every wish has a double-edged sword, as do gifts. Whatever gift that you have, it is a blessing and it is a curse. Yeah. So you have to be very, very, very careful with choosing what it is that you want, right? There's been many times in my life where I thought this is what I wanted. And then I came to realize it was a fucking near fatal mistake. Yeah. I almost died because of it, right? Right. So I like to point this part. I'll give you 3 wishes, you know. So what will your first wish be if you can have anything in the world?
Oh my gosh, my first wish in the world, it would be for my friends and my family. I mean, honestly, if I could have any wish, it would be to end world hunger, first of all. But
yeah, you know, that's a good wish.
So if I could really make that happen,
look. Your wish is my command.
Yeah.
Let's imagine a world where there is no hunger anymore. And it's very possible because we live in a age where we can produce any type of food anywhere.
Yeah.
And we have these billionaires that have so much money that they can easily do that, right? Yeah. So let's pretend that's your first wish. That's a good wish. What's your second?
Yeah, I'm going to make that happen too, okay? Legend stuff out here. Second wish is, oh my gosh, I've never been asked this before.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And I tell people, take your time with it, you know, because when you really think about it, you can actually live your life that way, saying, if I could have anything, I want to have this. And then you can go after it.
World peace. Can I wish for that?
You can wish for whatever you want.
All right. I wish for world peace. That's my second one.
Okay.
For love, for people to realize that love is the answer to everything, you know? And it's like, even though you don't agree, you know, with whatever is going on in the world, like, it doesn't matter. You know, love is the most important thing. And yeah, that's my second wish. And my third wish.
Let's hear it.
Would be for humans to understand that the mind is so powerful, but I don't want people to use that in a bad way, in like a negative way. I want them to use that in a light, you know, that I wish everyone happiness and peace, and to find themselves and to find light and to find love, because when you find that, then you're walking light. It's like anything you see and touch and talk to, like they feel the light, you know? My goal in life, you know, ever since I started getting close to God, is to be this like vessel for him, to be this light, to walk in love and to walk in, I want to inspire the world to follow their dreams and to, you know, to understand the happiness is within us already, you know? It's not about finding happiness. It's about feeling it and being grateful and moving with love and moving with purpose. And yeah, that's the message I want to give to my people,
That's
you know,
a great
when
message.
I perform. Yeah.
I love it. And the reason why I say that I'm a genie is because we all are. You're a genie. When I say your wish is my command, you can tell that to yourself. You can tell yourself, this is what I want. And then you can say, okay, you really want that, Aníbal? Yeah, I want to be the greatest film producer of all time.
Yeah.
Really? Do you really want that? Yeah. Okay. Your wish is my command. This is what you have to do. I'm like, oh shit. You know, let's go. Let's fucking go.
You know, and everything I said, I will do, because I know everybody says this, right? Like, I know I'm special, whatever. No one's special, right? But I know that I was put on this world to make a huge difference, and it's gonna happen with one person at a time. And I know I didn't wish, you know, to become this famous artist or whatever, but when I do become all that stuff, I will, because I mean, one of my dreams is to open up, I want to like build a school at a third world country. Like I really want to, I want to just change people's lives.
Easily, we can do that.
Oh yeah.
We will do that. As a matter of fact,
we will do that.
Let's make that one of our goals.
Yeah,
I'll help
we will.
you with it.
Hell yeah, we're going to do that.
Hell yeah. So I just want to thank you, you know, for coming on the show, sharing your story, sharing your philosophy, sharing your light and your art to the world. Whatever your gift is, you have to express it and share it to the world, because it will heal you. And it will heal others. You know, surrender to the process of your life.
Let go and let God.
Hell yeah. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the Silo Talk podcast. Make sure you follow Yeniva in her Instagram.
Follow me.
Make sure you check out her performance on April 19th.
Yeah,
Friday
pull up.
Electric Jungle in Pomona.
You might catch me and my girls performing together during my show, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be fire. We're going to be bringing all the energy you need.
Hell yeah.
The claps.
Give me some freaking cowbells.
That's my favorite. Hey.
Yeah. Guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.